Hello and welcome to your December energy forecast. I'm Lisa McCradle of Inner Wisdom Awakening, sending so much love to your light. And here we go, December. So if November was all about getting your emotional house in order, then December is all about taking that newfound clarity, vision, ignition, and getting going with it. So we're going to talk about the numerology, a little bit about the astrology, and there are 4 key components that you need to know in order to optimize what is awaiting you in December. So let's get started. Okay, so part of what's in review, we'll say, for December is your fundamental core belief systems, your values, what you hold important, what you treasure, who you are at the core. So those belief systems, those fundamental core values are being reorganized. They're being rerouted, reorganized, reestablished, so that you can stand up in a higher level of your own truth, of greater vision, and that inner wisdom is able to come more greatly online to guide you forth. And this is all in preparation in so many ways for 2022 that is just around the corner. So this 5-year of 2021, all about change, distortion, revealing, expressing, is moving us into 2022, which is a 6-year, which is about nurturing. It's the number of the mother. It's about kind of licking the wounds, if you will, of the intensity that we have navigated through as a collective in this last year. So let's dive into numerology. So here we are. It's going to be an 8-month. The 12 brings us the 3, which is the number of creativity, and paired with the 5 brings us the 8. So 8 is the number of infinite possibilities. What I love about the 8 and all the numbers is they show you who they are, right? So this spirals through heaven, it spirals through 8. It comes to that midline of the body, midline of the chakra system is what's changing. So it's been the third chakra for so long, which is our power versus fear center of the body. So the 8 loops through that 3rd chakra, right? The 2 and the 1 brings us the 3. So it's an activation of 3rd chakra coming into power and bringing that loop of infinite possibilities from heaven to earth. You're doing it. We're doing it together. So infinite possibilities of money, wealth, power, and influence. So whatever you are envisioning for yourself, for your service to the collective, this is an amazing month to get optimized into that infinity of possibilities, especially because you've healed so much through the emotional plane of November, that 11 number of mastery, that 2 of duality, moving us into the 3 and the 8, creative, infinite possibilities. So make a plan and stick to the plan. It requires presence. It requires commitment. It requires conviction. It requires a true belief in yourself, in your worth, in your power, in your purpose. And you get there by your presence. It's super duper important. And it's your time. It's all of our time. It's the time to shine because those core values, those core belief systems are being brought online at a new level. Keep your eye on the prize and don't stop. Just go. It's go time. It's go time. So it's a month to take charge, to make moves. Some of those moves might be really big and quite a surprise. It's time to reclaim your personal power. It is the essence of this month. It's available to you and it's of your choosing always. The 8 represents persistence, determination. It gives you connection. It gives you that connection of possibilities with leadership, with opportunities, with wealth, with abundance, with service, with all the things. So it's your month if you should so choose it to be based on your new, more expanded, they're saying, belief systems about who you are, what is possible, and what you're here to do on this planet. The mantra came through, fortune follows the fearless. That is this month's mantra if there was to be one. Fortune follows the fearless. So get going, fearlessly believing in yourself. Let's also bring the 12 in because it's a really powerful number. And when we get into some of the dates that are happening this month, it'll make more sense as well. So the 12 is the number of growth, inspiration. It's the great teacher. It's about independence and success. So that also pairs with the 8, and the astrology pairs with it as well. So you're getting it from all the angles this month. It's about the student and the teacher, and knowing that we can be both, and we need to be both at all times. Always the learning so that we can help others in their growth, right? We're doing this collectively and collaboratively. The shadow of the 12 is that it can present as the victim. It can present as powerless as the victim. So it's really an opportunity. Are you choosing power? Are you choosing fear? Which brings us back to that 3rd chakra, the midline of the body, like the core midline between heaven and earth. Are you standing in your power? Or are you standing in your victim fear place? And there's lots of opportunity for both right now. And again, you choose in all things. You always choose. So the 12, and then we're in the 12-21, right? It's the mirror and the reverse of itself. And so this brings us this looking at the shadow, like looking at itself in the mirror. And so if we reverse that, right, that the 21 brings the reverse of the shadow of the 12, which brings you more power, more infinite possibilities. Let's also look at 12 being the completion of cycles. There's 12 months in the year. It's completion of this cycle of this year. There were the 12 apostles. There are 12 astrology signs. So it brings things into full order is what is coming through. So the astrology of this month, as I have gleaned it, we enter on the 1st with Neptune ending a retrograde cycle that began in late June. And so it's all about the identification, the capacity for you to see through the illusion of what's false, fake, or untrue. That always begins with self, and then it spills into the collective. And we're getting a lot of reveal, a lot of truth, a lot of distortion, a lot of confusion. That's part of what it's like, awakening from the dream, right? Neptune brings you into this kind of dreamy illusion state, and you start to clear the sleep from your eyes to awaken to see what is real eyes to reveal with your real eyes what is true. It takes, one thing I read is it takes out the trash, if you will, to make room for the abundance, for aligned relationships, for aligned truth, for aligned creation. We move into a big deal day, which is on the 4th of December, which is the new moon, full solar eclipse in Sagittarius. So that occurs, it starts at 9:39 Pacific time, but it really hits its full culmination at 11:33, 11:34. So this occurs, and depending on where your time zone is, this will be like in the evening of the 23rd, then the late night of the 23rd into the early mornings of the 24th. So what we're playing with here in this, so basically the moon is void, and then the sun goes into a void too with the shadow of the moon. And so we are playing in the dance of the light and the dark in a really big way. And this is the culmination from the the lunar eclipse that we had a few weeks ago. So they always come in pairs. They're like a bookend, and it's the great reveal, right? And when the sun, right, the sun is the great opportunity. It's the great revealer. And then the sun goes into shadow. So there's a lot of opportunity for more illusions to come to the surface, to be seen with real eyes during this time. Very potent month to expand your inner wisdom, to expand and widen your horizons for clearer sight, right? So you can see from this perspective, but if you move up like the hawk, you see all through the horizon, right? So this gives you the expanse of to widen your horizons, to shift your belief systems in that fundamental core. And it's also happening at 12 degrees Sagittarius. So we have a lot of these 12, 21 numbers at play this month. You must be prepared for much to be revealed. It's a real gearing up, hitting the gas pedal for really rapid, profound transformation, revolution, the great revealing, revelation, so much coming through. So you can't miss it, but be present to it and be intentional with what is transforming through you. On the 18th of December, we have the Gemini full moon. This brings us into a manifestation energy, and it's a real shift, pivot through the month, I want to say. How we come into the month and how we go out of the month is profoundly different. So this is kind of a shifting point, right? With that full moon shining light again, after coming out of this eclipse, we're shining a new light into what has been revealed, to be seen, to be really received at this next level. Stay true to yourself is the message coming with the Gemini moon. And really making sure that you honor your relationships, especially your relationship to yourself, to the universe, to higher intelligence, and then that ripples out into all your expanded relationships, your most intimate, to those on the furthest reaching expressions through you. On the 19th, we have Venus, the goddess of love, money, beauty, going retrograde. And that will, she will stay retrograde until the end of January. So we're going to have this opportunity for greater compassion and greater reset. I want to say it's a reset for relationships, right? Relating. How are you relating? How are you navigating your ship as you're relating and movement forward? Not a good time to make any big changes on a personal level. Like what they're saying is not a great time to make permanent changes, like dye your hair a different color, or because what is happening in that reverse is going to perhaps not bring you so much joy at the end of January. So not to make any permanent, especially to your beauty, to your look, to your personal being. Definitely it's summoning a time to work on self, to get healthy, to get clear, but not making any massive shifts, especially in the physical appearance. And then we have the 12/21/21, the winter solstice, which is perhaps one of the biggest moments that we will be journeying through in December. So we have all of these 12 codes coming. And what this does, and Spirit has been speaking this through me for a couple of years, really focusing on this day, in that the winter solstice, right? It is the longest, we move into the dark, right? We move into the dark. It's the shortest light day of the year. And we're also bringing back the sun, right? So from that moment forward, we go into the deep cavern, the deep womb of winter, in order to plant our seeds of intention and then to birth them through the spring. And we begin to welcome back the light on that night. So it's the longest night of the year. It's the greatest darkness that we will move through. And this bookend, if you will, really began on 12/21/12. When we went through, the end of the Mayan calendar, the beginning of the big shift of consciousness. And it brings us in this acceleration portal to this year of 21, right? The 12 and the 21 being, so we went into these years since the 12/21/12. We've gone into this place of the victim, of exploring where we've been victimized or lived in victimhood. We didn't even realize the oppression of which we were living under. Now we see. Once you see, you cannot unsee. And so this brings us into this motivating factor, is what I'm feeling right now, of okay, we've seen everything that has been revealed, and now we get to rise up in that power, that powerful instead of powerless. And that's the initiation and activation of the 12. It reverses the shadow of victimhood and powerlessness and rises us into the power and the proclamation of who we are, who we've always been, and who and how we're willing to be as humanity. It's a big deal. I will be offering an activation, a light council activation on that day. Go to my Patreon page and you'll see it'll be there in the next couple of days. I'll set the link below. So what else is happening? As if we need more. Your 4 words, 4 frequencies that you must harness, embody, focus upon in order to activate through this super potent 12/21 year. Number 1 is truth. Truth, truth, truth. Be true to thyself. Trust your truth. The truth shall set you free. Truth. You must be willing to play in the bold, brave truth. You get there through your intuitive knowing what feels resonant and right within your body. Truth is light. It's free. Non-truth is heavy and contraction. So you feel your way through the truth, and you must find your way to be the brave truth bearer, right? First, you have to own it for yourself, and then you must stand in it unwaveringly for others to see and to know and to experience. And then we move into power. Personal power must be recognized, acknowledged, and owned. Take back your sovereignty. The more willing you are to stand in your personal power, right? That infinite loop right through the 3rd chakra. Power versus fear. You must choose power. You stand in your truth and you choose your power and you become fearless, right? The mantra was, fortune follows the fearless. That's the mantra for the month. So find your power and stay there unwaveringly. And what this truth and this power embodied delivers to you is a pivot, right? You can't, everything changes in response to that. So there's a pivot. And I love the word pivot because what it does is it realigns, it reorganizes, it sets your new true due north pathway for your greatest prosperity, purpose, passion, pleasure, and service. So a pivot occurs automatically when you stand in your truth and you're willing to recognize and own the power that is you. It is you, it is you, it is you, it is for you. And then that all opens us up into the possibilities, the infinite possibilities. You stand in your truth, you find your true power, you allow the pivot to occur naturally, and it's like the great curtain is pulled back and all the possibilities are revealed through you. You are infinite being living in an infinite universe, and the possibilities are endless. Everything exists here. We just didn't know it, or we just couldn't see it. So they're profound and plenty, and it wraps up this 5-year and brings us into the nurturing of the 2022, into a whole new wealth of possibilities. You've got this. You're doing it. I'm sending so much love to your light. We rise up together as one. Keep an eye out for the 12/21 activation. And if I don't see you before, I'll see you then. Have a blessed month. I love you.